The next topic that we have today is the structure of sperm. Sorry, the structure of ovum. Yeah. The next topic that I'm going to have is the structure of ovum. Now, when you look about the structure of ovum, there are a lot of important points which I want to highlight here. Last class we saw about the structure of sperm, how the sperm is there, and how to draw the sperm. Now, how to draw the ovum from diagram, then we can go for the explanation. First, always starts with the nucleus. So, I'm going to start with the nucleus. The nucleus is covered by nuclear membrane, and they may have the nucleolus. This is the first thing you should draw. And this is the nuclear membrane. Don't say nuclear core and all, nothing to show in this. Okay, fine, you are given the nuclear membrane. Next, you have to draw one important egg membrane called as vitelline membrane. So, draw a line like this. It is also a double layer. One. Okay, I'll use some other color for it. Okay. You can use a 2B or 3B pencil, whichever you have, for having thick marks, or you can use, don't use tip pen. Okay, in that you can't draw all these things in a clear manner. For labeling you can use. So we have another membrane, and this membrane is called as the vitelline membrane. Okay, nucleus is over. Okay, I'll do one thing. Nucleus little bit, I'll just push it over here. And this is the ectoplasm or the ooplasm. Above this, I should draw another thick layer. I need another thick layer which I want to put on this. A little bit thicker than the vitelline membrane, and another layer. But generally it is very thin layer. Fine. So vitelline membrane is over, and one gelatinous membrane. This is called primary egg membrane. The other name of primary egg membrane is zona pellucida. Above this, we have some of the secondary membrane derived from the cortica, from the follicular cells, and these are called as corona radiata. So how to draw corona radiata means draw a double spikes like this and extend the cell like this. And there are a lot of ways people used to draw. Next, you just draw another small one. On the small one, draw a bigger one. Then you draw a small one. I am given single one, I'll tell you afterwards. Draw a small one. Above the small one, draw another one. Here, a bigger one. Again, a small one. Such that the spikes are going to enter into the zona pellucida. See that there should not be any gap in this. Gap should not be left. So that's why I am covering these two cells. Why there should not be any gap also, I will be telling you. There is a concept called polyspermy. So in order to know only polyspermy only, I am not going to give any gaps. What do you mean by polyspermy? What do you mean by polyspermy, children? Okay. What do you mean by polyspermy?
When many sperms enter the egg membrane.
Yes, when many sperms enter the egg membrane. We always use the term sperm fertilizes a ovum. We are not using sperms fertilizing an ovum. We are not using that. Sperm fertilizing an ovum. Because only one sperm can fertilize a single ovum. Okay, so these are the various things that we have drawn now. Now this is the small thing I'm going to draw here. Okay, a small thing I'll tell you. What is this small cell also? Now we'll start one by one. The first one, I'm starting from outside to inside. That's all about the diagram, how to draw a diagram. And you can just put the mitochondria and all, it's there here. If you want, you can put, otherwise we can leave it off because that's not there in your books, I'm not going to put. The first one is called as corona radiata. People use this as secondary egg membrane. because it is not derived from the ova, it is derived from the follicular cells or from the growing follicular cells or the cortical cells. So we're going to call it secondary egg membrane. I'll just put MEMB alone. Secondary egg membrane. Okay, fine. So where, if you look about this corona radiata is actually a thick cellular layer. Okay, sir. What is the next layer? The next layer, which I'm going to point here, this layer. What is this layer called as? This is called as zona pellucida. This is called as zona pellucida. This is actually the membrane which is derived from the ovum. So we're going to call this membrane as primary egg membrane. And this membrane is generally very thin membrane, and it is non-cellular membrane. I'll just put here somewhere. Okay, I'll just put here. It is a non-cellular membrane. So both the membranes, that is corona radiata as well as the zona pellucida, both of them are involved in blocking polyspermy. That is how it occurs, by some membrane receptor mechanism, clip-off mechanism, acrosomal reaction, something and all is there. So involvement of sperm is also involved. So that I will be teaching you in the events of fertilization. Now we are focusing on pre-fertilization events and process and structures. So by today, pre-fertilization events are completely over. So this is called as polar body. I'll tell you how the polar body is formed when I'm telling you about the oogenesis. So the region where the polar body is there, that area is called as animal pole. Opposite to that polar body is the vegetal pole. So it's how we are marking the micropolar and chalazal end. In micropolar end, in case of a megasporangium, integuments are present or absent?
Absence.
Absent. Integuments are absent in the micropolar end. Opposite to end only we have the chalazal end, and the micropolar end only the polar tube enters. So there is a similar way here we have specific role for polar body, something to do with the sperms. Okay, I'll teach you about the concept afterwards during fertilization events. The region where we have the polar bodies, that area is called as the animal pole. Opposite to that we have the vegetal pole. Next, and membrane, it's called as vitelline membrane. And another membrane is called as vitelline membrane. Other name of vitelline membrane is called as olema. That means it's actually another membrane derived from the egg and vitelline membrane. So the sperm is covered by plasma membrane. Here we have vitelline membrane, where there is a specific process in fertilization I will be dealing you about, where the vitelline membrane and plasma membrane will fuse. You all may have a question. So nucleus alone is entering into the sperm ovum, sir. What will occur to the middle piece and tail? Something is there to discuss about vitelline membrane at the fertilization events. This is called as the ooplasm. Ooplasm or the cytoplasm of an egg. Ooplasm. And this is nothing but the nucleus. And the nucleus is haploid, and the chromosome here is 22 autosome plus X or Y? Yes.
X.
22 autosome plus X. Therefore, you must know in this what is very important. Structure is very important. You must know the layers. It starts from corona radiata. Sperm entry starts from corona radiata. From corona radiata, it goes to the zona pellucida. From zona pellucida, it goes to the vitelline membrane. From vitelline membrane, it enters into the ooplasm. And from ooplasm, it must enter the nucleus. So this is the directions by which the sperms have to cross. to aid in fertilization and promoting the post-fertilization events. So there is some importance of polar to form a healthy zygote as well as to aid in the fertilization and completing the meiotic division to transform ooted into ova. We require definitely the polar pores. Any doubt in it, children? Any doubt?
So what of the perivitellin space, sir?
I have not given the Whiteley space or Whiteley membrane. That when I am going with the topic called fertilization, I will go in depth. So I have taken only what is there in NCERT. When you go for pre-Whiteley space or Whiteley membrane, I will discuss you about what is the role and all. Even between the zona pellucida and Whiteley membrane, we have a space, and here cells are embedded. Here also we have some small spaces. All this role I will be teaching you in fertilization events better, which includes arrival of the sperm to the ampler isthmic junction, arrival of the ovum into the ampler isthmic junction, and amphimixis. Sorry, all events after this it's amphimixis, and afterwards it is fertilization. In that there are some chemical reactions. In that I will be teaching you about that beta. Okay, beta.
Okay, sir.
Yes. So in NEET point of view, what are the questions can be asked means, from where the corona radiata is derived. It is derived from the follicular cells. Zona pellucida is derived from the ovum. This is a possible question. And route of entry and the nucleus or the ploidy as well as the chromosome content or the karyotype. The common thing is the karyotype of the ovum is very important. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Now we're going to enter into the stage. Yeah, Abhinav, the voice will get well now. Just give me some point because net is very low in here, ma. Just wait here. So the concept that I'm going to take now to discuss is gametogenesis. Gametogenesis. So the process of formation of gametes. From where? From gamete mother cell. So gametes are formed from the gamete mother cell. The gamete mother cell is diploid, gametes are haploid. And the gamete mother cells are of two different types. One is spermatogonium and next one is oogonium. Where spermatogonium gives rise to sperms and spermatogonium is diploid, sperms are haploid, and oogonium gives rise to ovum, which is haploid. For this we have some shortcuts to remember. I'll give you what is the shortcut, okay? Dash gonium. Okay, the shortcuts I'll be giving you. Dash gonium undergoes dash primary dash site. First a shortcut, then one will go for the long cut now. Secondary dash site, then is dash tip. Afterwards, just divide the term into two. One is ovum and sperm. So here you use sperma, sperma, sperma. So here one area use a term called sperma or spermato is a term you're going to use. Next, oogo or oo, just replace by oo. One is spermato, second is oo. So with this, how to go with the explanation? Spermatogonium, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatid, sperms or spermatozoa. to remember the stage. Now you can compare this with the diagram of the transfer section of seminiferous tubules. Germinal epithelium, then oogonium, spermatogonium, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatid, spermatozoa. Now oogenesis, what are the stage it will come? Oogonium, primary oocyte, secondary oocyte, ooted ovum. And the ploidy of gonium is diploid. Yes, this is also diploid. This is haploid. This is haploid. This is also haploid. That means, where is meiotic division taking place? In the primary oocyta or in the secondary oocyta or in primary spermatogonium, secondary spermatocyte, primary spermatocyta, secondary spermatocyta.
Primary.
Yes, that means in this case, it's a shortcut, children. When I go for the actual method, I'll be teaching you from transformation of spermatogonium or oogonium into primary spermatocyte is mitotic differentiation. It's called mitotic differentiation. Primary oocyte to secondary oocyte is meiosis 1, where equal unequal concept has to be discussed. Meiosis means secondary oocyte to ooted or spermatid is again the completion of meiosis division number 2. So its completion of meiosis division number 2 gives rise to spermatid or ooted, and there also some mitotic differentiation takes place. So with this shortcut, tomorrow we are going to proceed with the gametogenesis, and we'll be focusing on spermatogenesis. So this is the shortcut to remember the stages: dash gonium, primary dash site, secondary dash site, then dashed it, then you get sperm or ovum, where the cell division and technical terms when you use, you will get the concept very easily. But to score board exams, I'll tell you how to do it, and to with understanding how you can write the competitive exam also, I'll be telling you using these shortcuts alone. So with this, I'm going to stop it for today, children. Any